Good evening, everybody. It's once again Ted the Speed Learner. I don't know what the heck that's all about. Oh, gee, let's get rid of this. My screen wants to blink back and forth. I don't know why. Okay, well, let me go ahead and go back to there. That's better. How are you guys this evening? Oh, I do not want to send feedback. I'll send feedback later. Who cares? Anyway, why is this doing this? Okay, so this thing's going to go blinking back and forth. Why? Don't ask me. I don't know. But anyway, sorry about that. Don't know what's going on, but anyway. Welcome everybody to my live stream. As you all know, I am Ted the Speed Learner. And, well, what's been going on around here lately? Well, I'll tell you exactly what's been going on around here lately. It has been cold. I'm talking single digits around here. All that storm stuff you saw south of here, we have been getting the cold part. Now, I'm telling you what, we actually had a couple inches of snow. That is not a joke, folks. I actually had to shovel it. So you can tell we had a couple inches of snow and that kind of thing. So there you go. Anyway, how you guys doing this evening? Well, I kind of let Survival on a Budget Made Easy know I was up here. Boink the Clown will probably be joining us. And Crazy Josh Cravey, I know you're here and I know you're listening. But, you know, when it gets really, really cold, even though I've got a heater and everything, the room is not exactly like the Ritz-Carlton, okay? Let me give you that. And so it kind of makes it hard to do anything, you know. It's not things can't be done. It's just it's a little harder than normal. But anyway, I don't know what this blinking thing's all about, but anyway. So what are we going to be doing tonight? Well, first of all, I'll be talking about the next YouTube adpocalypse. Yes, if you guys have been watching Daryl Eves, he talked about the next YouTube adpocalypse. And let me tell you how that one's going, okay? If you have a family channel, which I do not have a family channel, okay, so this doesn't affect me hardly at all, but I actually do have parade videos, and sometimes kids do get into the camera shot. I can't control that. I'm also talking about my Relay for Life videos, so that could be a bit of a problem too. But when you talk about Relay for Life videos, or you're talking about if you're talking about Relay for Life, or you're talking about my parade videos, they could be affected. But anything else, really, no, because I don't have kids in my videos. It's just usually me. There you go. But anyway, what is this all about? Well, if you have kids in your videos, from now on, YouTube is going to disable your comment section for their protection. Really? Now, think about who prompted this. Who prompted this? AT&T and Disney. Now, if I were to formulate a hypothesis, which I'm going to formulate a hypothesis. If I were to formulate a hypothesis, this is what my hypothesis would be. Okay? My hypothesis is this. Well, what kind of programming primarily, what kind of programming does Disney produce? Think about this. What kind of programming does Disney produce? Well, I'll tell you exactly what they produce. Children's programming. That's right. Now, you got all these family channels up on the air, and now they're getting ad revenue. But your revenue is going down because people aren't watching you anymore. They're watching them. Interesting. Well, there's my hypothesis. I think you could kind of put the pieces together and finally figure this one out. But anyway, doesn't matter. What we need to do is we need to support these channels on YouTube in which features their family. And the thing is, it's not that they're just disabling the comments and demonetizing all this. That would be bad enough. But the next thing they're going to do is to make sure that they don't promote those channels. They don't promote any of those videos. So no one will ever see them. Unless, of course, you know where to look. And I think that's wrong. I really do. I think that's wrong. It's not their fault that they get bad comments from time to time. Even I get bad comments from time to time. That's not their fault. Punish the ones that are leaving the bad comments and leave the rest of us alone. We didn't do anything wrong. Well, they haven't. So like I said, because the two people complaining were AT&T and Disney, and we all know what kind of programming Disney puts out, it doesn't take a genius to figure this one out. It really doesn't. But that's my hypothesis, and you can take it as you will. Anyway, I have a friend of mine on here, and I gave him some information at long last that he's been wanting for some time. And I go ahead and give that to him. And so what are we going to do tonight? Well, first of all, I made some more notes for Eusebius, but I'm not going to present them tonight, mainly because my last presentation wasn't being watched very much. I'm serious. It just wasn't watched hardly at all. And I'm sitting here going, okay. So I'm sitting here going, well, it's not that I'll never present it. I will, but I'm not doing it tonight. I'm not in any big hurry to do that. Okay. It probably wouldn't be promoted by YouTube anyway. And aside from like 5 or 6 people that might actually watch it right at this moment, it's not going to be watched very much. So there's not a whole lot of incentive to go ahead and produce it. It's not that it'll never get done. It will, but it's just there's not a whole lot of incentive. And I do know that Crazy Josh Cravey wanted to hear more of my thoughts on the Danica McKellar book called Math Doesn't Suck. That I will present tonight. And I've got to get my notes on this. Let's see. There we go. Son of a book. I want to do that. There we go. Okay. La 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 la. Anyway, hey, maybe I should check. Got another reply. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to check to make sure everybody knew that I was doing a live stream tonight. Will the live streams be on Tuesday nights now? As far as I can tell, yes. Now, I will tell you this. If it starts warming up next week, which it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen, and it gets warm enough for me to do it, I will travel to Lincoln, Illinois next week and videotape some signs. Now, here's the kick. One of the things I was doing today that's very, very important is that I was talking to Betty Grace Photography, and she informed me that they have a new exhibition hub or whatever they call those things. Experience hub. It's a new Route 66 experience hub, and they have a brand new one, okay, in Bloomington, Illinois. I thought they had moved the one from Normal, Illinois to Bloomington, but that's not what they've done. They built another one. Oh, great. So when I travel to Lincoln, Illinois, I'm going to swing through McLean, Illinois. Yes, there's actually a McLean, Illinois, and I'm going to swing from there over to Bloomington to videotape this new Experience Hub. And I'll show you exactly where it is so you guys can see it. Periodically this spring and summer, I am going to be making Route 66 trips. When I make the Route 66 trips, I am not going to be on the air. Okay? There will be no live stream if I have to make a trip. I'm going to get the trip, process the video, and get it up on the air so you guys can actually see these signs exactly where they are. And some of you guys have been given a sneak preview as to where I'm going to go. Especially on June 15th, there will be no live stream at all. It will be a massive trip. I will go up there, I will videotape, and then I will present my videotape to you. So, there you go. Okay. So, what else has been going on? Well, I am going to do the review of Math Doesn't Suck. I am also going to show you guys this. This is called the Classic Linker N64. I was talking about this in my last live stream, and I'm actually going to do a review of the product tonight. Now, I will not actually play a video game over here, but I did actually test it out, and it actually works the way I say it does. And we'll get into that. I'm also going to show support for some of these people that have their family channels on YouTube. I'm going to start reviewing their channels and then sending them my reviews to try to get them watch time and views and everything else because they've had their comments disabled and they've been delisted and all this other garbage. It's not right for them. So I'm going to try to help them out. Okay? And I'm going to try to help out everybody else as well. So, a lot's going to go on around here, and I don't know that I got a few channels that I'm going to review, and we'll talk a little bit about Instagram tonight, and that's about it. Crazy Josh Cravey, I wanted to let you know that I went to your Instagram page, and I saw all your pictures of you in the kitchen. I'm not exactly sure what you were cooking, but I'd love to know. And is that like your job now, or is that just something that you do on the side? I'd really like to know. And I may actually, throughout this live stream tonight, I may actually start making some notes for other videos, and you guys can help me make notes. So we'll see how it goes. Hello, everybody. I know Crazy Josh Cravey's here. I don't know who else is here, but whoever it is, let me know. I'd love to know who you are. And we'll get into this shortly. All right. Let me go ahead and set up my Kodak Easy Share. I got another note for you before we really get into this. Over Christmas, I bought another Kodak Easy Share. My Easy Share is getting old. I did test this out. It will work with my battery bricks. And I tested out. It's everything's the buttons are a little different, but that's okay. I don't mind the buttons being a little different. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know that I did test this out. And everything's fine. So will I use this on trips? Probably so from now on. This camera's getting a little old and it just needs to kind of retire, really. One of these days it's going to go out for good, and that's going to be the end of that. So anyway, let's get going, shall we? I could buy a more professional camera, but hey, now I will tell you that my watch time has been going up. Okay, my watch time for the last 12 months is about 168,000 watch time minutes, but we are not yet at 240. And until we get there, I'm going to have to do things that I would not do otherwise. I'm spending a lot of time on Instagram, trying to review photos. I I would have reviewed yours on Instagram, Crazy Josh Cravey, but I thought, well, what the hey? I'm doing a live stream anyway. I would go ahead and possibly ask a question or two here, and maybe people could start checking out your Instagram page. And that is something that I will get back into once I get the Speed Learner channel back on the partnership program. And I will do that. I promise you I will do that. I did get a note not too long ago. One of my videos has been watched 10,000 times since it was uploaded, say, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. So that is a big deal. That's a really big deal. So anyway, what else has been going on? Not a whole heck of a lot. Definitely the planning for the Route 66 and looking for Lincoln trips. I've been doing some planning on that, but other than that, really not much at all. So anyway, let's get into this, shall we? All right. La-ti-dee, la-ti-da. Okay, we're going to see just how well we do on this. All right. Here goes everything. Let me turn this around a little bit. There, now you're looking at me, and I'm going to go ahead and take care of one more little thing. I'll be right back. I almost forgot to tell you guys, it's not this exerciser. But if you remember from my last live stream, I had an exerciser. I mean, it looks exactly like because they were both made by the same company. But my last exerciser finally broke today, and I had to replace it with this one. So I'm glad I had my replacement already set up and ready to go. I was like, man, I can't believe my exerciser broke, but it did. So new ones. I had to put this one together today. I'm glad I had the day off. So there you go. Anyway, let's go ahead with this. Let's set this right here. Oh, great. I just took a picture of myself. That's real good. Forgot to set this on video mode. I hate it when I do that. Let's try that again. Oh, who cares? Okay, let's try that again, shall we? And it didn't go well. Oh, dang it. I didn't know I had extra videos on here. Okay. Let's try that just one more time. Sorry, I didn't know I had videos on there. Should have deleted them before I ever came over here, but you know, things like that happen. It's not great, but it does happen. All right, here we go. Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight I'm going to continue my review of Danica McKellar's book, Math Doesn't Suck, with fractions. And I actually took physical notes for this one mainly because I was busy and I didn't want to mess with my computer. So as you well know, I'm doing a live stream right now. That's why I'm kind of angled the way I am. And so I'm just going to turn this around like that so you can get a better view of me. Anyway, so we're going to go on to the next chapter. We're talking about fractions tonight. Now, I have talked about fractions in a previous video. If you go to my elementary mathematics playlist on my YouTube channel, you will find a video about fractions. I guarantee it. Okay. Now you used pizza as your example. And that was a very good idea, except for the fact that not everybody like. Granted, when I was a kid, I went to Godfather's Pizza, and I tell you what, it was wonderful. It was just fantastic. It was wonderful, a great experience. I will never forget it. But one of the things that was in Godfather's Pizza, okay, it's one of the best tasting pizzas you'll ever have, and I can tell you why now. It has a good crust. There's no question about it. They have great toppings over there. When I was a kid and when they were in their old location, it was a great atmosphere. I loved going in that place. It was great. It was fantastic. It was marvelous. It was wonderful. But the thing is that their crust was full of sugar. That's why it tasted so sweet and so good. Well, nowadays, when you're being a little more health conscious, then having a ton of sugar in your crust, as well as a lot of gluten, maybe not such a great idea. So that could be one thing that could prevent people from actually enjoying pizza. But some people just don't enjoy pizza at all. You know, go figure. Now, let's take a look at some Latin. Okay, let's take a look at some Latin etymology. Okay, now I covered this in a previous video. As I said, I did a whole video about fractions. I did a video about numerator and denominator. Now, I don't remember all of it from back then. You can go ahead and take a look. You can watch it for yourself. But the word denominator, part of that word actually is the word nomen. And if you know anything about nomen or nominus, you know that it actually means name. Okay, and that should be the key focus of how you teach fractions. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to look up I'll go ahead and do that right now. Let's see. Okay. Oh, tell me a whole heck of a lot. Okay. The word improper has the Latin prefix in, which usually means not, or can actually mean the opposite of something else. Okay. And when you're talking about proprius, you're talking about somebody that's well, a good example of that is somebody that doesn't keep themselves physically fit. See what I mean? Okay. All right. So okay, okay, I got that wrong. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Proprius means something pertaining to yourself. Proprius means something pertaining to yourself. And when you join it with the Latin prefix in, it means something that is not physically fit, or maybe not something that's fit to drink or to eat or something like that. Okay, and even mannerisms go along with that too. So there you go. All right, we're going to get rid of that right there. All right, now let's get back into this. All right. Now, I agree that fractions are actually division problems. I agree with that. As a matter of fact, you remember how, well, you might, I know I do. When I was a kid, they had the line with the dot on the top and the bottom. Okay, that's what a fraction kind of looks like to me. All right. Now then, so if a fraction is nothing more than a division problem, then all you have to do is rotate it like a clock or maybe like a dial. If you're turning the dial clockwise, okay, you can actually turn the fraction clockwise, and it actually becomes a division problem. As a matter of fact, all it is when you turn it clockwise, it's only missing one line. You know how they had the up line like this, the vertical line, and then they had the horizontal line? You just add in the horizontal line, you got a division problem. That's what you got. And that's how that works. All right. Now, why am I focusing on the word denominator? Because in a wedding, what usually, and we're not talking about modern weddings today. We're talking about way back when in the old early days. What was it that they usually did? The bride would actually take on the last name of the groom. And there were specific reasons for doing this. And I would be happy to cover that in a later video, but I'm not going to cover it here. You probably know what I'm talking about. I know some of my students here will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so what you really want to do is you want the denominator to marry the whole number, because you're talking about a mixed number here, okay? So you have the denominator marrying the whole number part of a mixed number, and then adding on their numerator friend. That would be a better way to remember this, because you're focusing on the Latin etymology, so you're actually teaching them Latin etymology as well as fractions at the same time. See what I mean? And that's what I got to say about that. So really, the lesson you were teaching, it wasn't a bad lesson particularly. It's just I had a better idea. And I think you can see why. And that causes them to focus on Latin etymology, which teaches them it actually teaches them how to remember practically a whole dictionary in their head. And that's what I'm going for. All right. Now, if I remember right, you had also mentioned something about diamonds too, and I'm like, what does this have to do with fractions? Really? So anyway, I'm going to let it go for tonight. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. Perhaps when you write your next math book, you'll kind of bring in Latin vocabulary into the math book to augment their vocabulary. And I hope you do. All right. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay, let's get this out of here. Let's go for the next round. Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to review the classic Linker N64 device. Now, let me tell you why I had to have the classic Linker N64 device, okay? Now, I actually own a Nintendo 64. I also own a GameCube. Now, for those of you who do not know, the GameCube, they had these limited edition discs, and it was The Legend of Zelda, and you had the first Legend of Zelda game on it. You had the second one. You had the Ocarina of Time, and you also had the Majora's Mask on it. I'm truly surprised that they did not put on this disc A Link to the Past. That would have been really fun, but they didn't do that. So that forces me to keep my Link to the Past game cartridge as well as my Super Nintendo game system. Now, the thing is, I grew up in the olden days of video games. We're talking about Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and Burger Time and Dig Dug, and I could go on and on and on. And you had a basic controller system. You actually had a joystick and 2 buttons, the A and B. That's what you had. Okay, you didn't have all these extra fancy buttons and all this other stuff, which makes things 10 times more complicated. Okay, so I got used to playing like that. And this was great because on the original Nintendo Entertainment System, they actually had the NES Advantage. And I bought one and I used it for so long. But then the Super Nintendo came out, and the games that I liked on the regular Nintendo went on to the Super Nintendo, except the Mega Man games. Now, Mega Man had the Mega Man X and X2 and X3, but the original Mega Man games did not go on to the Super Nintendo. So I ended up having to keep my regular Nintendo to play them. Okay? But the good news was that when they came out with the GameCube, all of those previous Mega Man games were put on a disc, and I was able to play them on the GameCube. Okay? But I needed a joystick, a real joystick with real buttons. You say, well, wait a minute. How did you get the joystick? Okay. I went out and I bought this bad boy. See that? Yep. As you can see, it has a joystick, has the buttons just like I like them. I can do turbo on this stuff, all 9 yards. Pretty much just like the NES Advantage and the Super NES Advantage. That's right. The Super Nintendo also had an Advantage joystick. And I wish they had kept going with this, because this is the kind of stuff I was used to. You know, Nintendo needs to accommodate people that are a little bit older, because their purchasing audience is not always parents to kids. Some of us grew up on Nintendo. We grew up on Atari, that kind of thing. And we can play almost as well as those kids can. So I needed something like this to play my games. Here's the problem. When you play Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the GameCube using this controller, this won't move Link. It won't. I tried. It won't. So I had to do something else. Now, have you ever tried to play Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time with this ugly thing? I tried. It don't work. Why? Because I can't hold on to this. Okay, I need to physically hold on to the joystick to make it work. I don't move that thing with my finger. That's ridiculous. It's stupid. So, what do you do? Okay. Well, we have the solution. Well, kind of the solution. This works well enough. Check out this bad boy. This will work with the Nintendo 64, but I needed this thing to work with the GameCube. That was the problem. The piece that hooks up to the Nintendo 64 won't hook up to the GameCube. So I had to get this. It's called the Classic Linker Nintendo 64. I had to get it. It's this little white box. Okay. And what I did was I hooked up this bad boy to this. And when I did, all I had to do after that was, instead of having my joystick up here, I put my joystick down here. And when I did, I was able to move Link in Ocarina of Time. Okay. And I have my Z controller right here. This button this would be your C. Okay, and I can show you that right here. These yellow buttons would be the equivalent. The yellow buttons up here are the equivalent of this right here. Okay. And of course, I have my A and my B and my left and my right. And this has turbo as well. So now I can use this Nintendo 64 controller successfully with my GameCube. Now, I can't wait to try that. I did try it out a little bit, and it does actually work. I found that out. But I have never gone extensively with it. So, whenever I do get a chance to finally just sit down and play the dang thing, I will be using that controller. And I wanted to tell something to the people who created this Soul Calibur 2, and that's what this thing here is. It's the Soul Calibur 2 joystick. I want to tell you guys something. Shame on you for not having this work with the Ocarina of Time. That's a shame. Because otherwise, this is a great controller. It really is. But it won't control Link with the Ocarina of Time. I think it's ridiculous. Anyway, so that is my review of the Classic Linker N64. It does actually work. I'm very pleased with it. And if you are trying to play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and you're used to the old type joystick, I would go ahead and get yourself an Arcade Shark. Get one of these and then hook it up with that Classic Linker N64. If you do, you will have a great time. Otherwise, you'll be deeply disappointed. Oh, well. Anyway, I want to thank you very much for watching this presentation. I hope that review helps you out quite a bit. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. Well, I'm going to pause for just a second. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, well, Mother Nature's calling and I have to answer the phone. Be right back. You can watch my chair. Don't let anybody steal it. Kind of a shame I don't have any sponsors. If I did, this would be a lot more fun. But anyway, let's go ahead. Alrighty. I'm going to do some reviews of other channels. There's only going to be about 3 of these, so I want you to hang in there. I'm going to go ahead and... There, that's much better. Oh, much, much better. Okay. Let's get this job done. All right. Here goes number 1. This video response is going to go out to Introspection, and that's because you uploaded a video entitled Cheesy Wisdom. I watched your video and I decided to ask you a few questions about your video. Now, which children's books were you referring to in your video? Can you elaborate on your feelings about teamwork and friendship? I know you did a little bit of that in your video, but I would like to see a little bit more. I'm kind of curious, okay? What other morals do you think should be taught to kids? Okay. Are you a member of a basketball team? Now, here's something for you to think about. Remember that in the adult world, many people are paid to be part of a team. They don't just volunteer. They are actually paid to be a part of a team. Or at the very least, even if they're not paid, they actually do share a common goal. Okay? So if you believe in teamwork so much, why do you produce your videos all by yourself? Interesting question. Okay. Now, on another point, I have to disagree with you. Multitasking would be more valuable to teach to kids than patience, because literally you can actually get a lot more accomplished with multitasking than with patience. Now, granted, patience is a good virtue, especially if you're growing a garden. But multitasking can actually serve kids better these days, mainly because of the story of John Henry and how it applies to modern technology today. Okay. So, which children's books have you read lately that teach the value of patience? And have you ever found a children's book that teaches kids how to multitask? Personally, I've never seen a children's book that actually teaches kids how to multitask. And I think that's a real shame. Now, have you ever written a children's book? All right, feel free to leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be Introspection and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Introspection's YouTube channel, watch his videos, comment on his videos, rate his videos, subscribe to his channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Whoops. It. Okay, one video down, 2 more to go. Alrighty. This video response is going to go out to Old Iron Shops, and that's because you uploaded a video entitled Secret Santa Gifts YouTube Machinist Group. I watched your video and I decided to ask you a few questions about your video. All right. How large are your diamond burrs? Do they actually use diamonds to make the diamond burrs? And if so, how many diamonds do they actually use? And how expensive are these diamond burrs? If they're using real diamonds, I imagine they're quite expensive. Okay. You said you were going to make a Christmas present for a recipient. What did you finally make for your recipient? All right. Feel free to leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be Old Iron Shops and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to Old Iron Shops YouTube channel, watch his videos, rate his videos, comment on his videos, subscribe to his channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay, 2 videos down, 1 more to go. There, that's better. Oh, stop it. This video response is going to go out to the AJ Family Vlogs. And I'll say that again, the AJ Family Vlogs. And that's because you uploaded a video entitled, and I don't remember what the title is. Okay, it's some kind of a scary storm knocks out the power thing. I will leave the actual hyperlink to that particular video right down here in the description below. All right, I did watch your video, and I decided to ask you a few questions about your video. I'm sorry, I should have copied the title of your video, and I forgot to do so, and I am so sorry. All right, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and ask you some questions about your video. First of all, I would like to say I hope you're feeling better. I hope your whole family's feeling better. There's nothing worse in the middle of wintertime than having the flu, especially over Christmas or Valentine's Day or any other holiday. I can tell you that having the flu over a holiday is not fun, especially even with me. I have a birthday that comes up in February. So, yeah, it's kind of unpleasant to have a flu over your birthday. I can tell you that. All right, so I can relate. Anyway, how warm did it actually get on the day you recorded your video? I mean, what was the actual high? because you had talked about it, but I don't think you actually said, okay, it finally reached a high of so and so degrees, and then finally we started going down. Okay, which shop? And now you had gone to several shops. Which one of them is your favorite? All right. How large is the toy house in your video? You had this little brown toy house for your kids. How big is that thing? And did it come with little with little I don't want to call them dolls, just little action people, little people that the kids could actually place in the house? Did it come with little furniture that they could move around, that kind of thing? I'd like to know. All right. Now, you had shown some towels. These are Easter towels. And I want to know if those towels were scented. And if so, with what scent? Okay. Now, I saw some white and yellow flowers in the background of your video as the video went on. What species of flowers were they? I saw that you were wearing a Florida State sweatshirt. What was your college major? What is your favorite Disney movie? And when your power went off at 7 p.m., how long did it take for them to turn the power back on? All right. Feel free to leave the answers to any and all these questions down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be the AJ Family Vlogs and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to the AJ Family Vlogs YouTube channel, watch their videos, rate their videos, comment on their videos if you can. You may have to actually send them an email so they will know what you're saying. And subscribe to their channel if you like. And more importantly, tell them that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. Okay. Well, as you can plainly see, that was it. Whew. I know, it's a Tuesday night and nobody's home. I'm not surprised. A little disappointed, but not terribly surprised. Anyway, so you guys learned quite a bit of information from me tonight. Like I said earlier, they actually have a new experience hub. It's a Route 66 experience hub. It's in Bloomington. And if it's warm enough next week, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll drive over there and I'll videotape it. You guys can actually see it. How many of you people have ever gone to my Instagram and actually looked at my Instagram photos? Because if you have, you probably noticed I was wearing a Red Nose and the Red Nose Day shirt. Well, that's because I was doing Red Nose Day. I had one lady, she says, well, you look cute with the nose. Well, she didn't realize that I was doing that for Red Nose Day. And I'm actually doing that both for Red Nose Day and also for the Looking for Lincoln Heritage Coalition and this new Route 66 Coalition. And I like to make both of them very, very popular. I did actually watch a video. It came from Casey, Illinois, and they have these great big, they have this great big mailbox, and they have these great big knitting needles, and they have these great big this and great big that and whatever. It's all fan and dandy, but it doesn't connect with any other community. I don't even know if Casey, if Abraham Lincoln ever visited Casey or did anything there. If he did, it would have been very interesting to have seen a Looking for Lincoln sign in Casey. If they had, I would have gone down there, videotaped it, and then connected that with everybody else. Perhaps someday they might put something like that down there. If they did, it'd be kind of cool. But anyway, so where exactly am I going to go in June? I'm going to go to Nauvoo, Illinois. You know that. They have a Joseph Smith Village, and just on the outskirts of that village is the Looking for Lincoln sign. And I'm going to videotape it. I'm going to show you exactly where it is. I'm also going to go to a place called Lewistown. And in Lewistown, they have two more Looking for Lincoln signs, but they are not on the map. There you go. Anyway, gee, what else? Oh man. I'm tired. So, well, I guess one thing I could do is make some notes. Let me go ahead and set this up. I'll go ahead and make some notes. Yeah. Go away. That can go away now. Oh, okay, that's fine. All right. Now, if you don't mind, and considering the fact that there's absolutely nobody at this point watching my live stream at this moment, now I know you guys will probably watch it a little bit later, and I'm glad that you will. But anyway, so what are we going to do now? Well, I am going to go ahead and make some notes. Let's see. All right, let's do this. First thing I'd like for you to do is to flip over to Supertramp and their song "Take the Long Way Home." I want you to start looking at the lyrics because I'm going to go ahead and formulate some questions about it. And then I'm going to tell you guys as a sneak preview as to what I actually think of the song. And then later on, I'm going to actually do the full review. Anyway, okay. All right, just coming up with some things to ask. I actually may just do this video tonight. I think you're going to like this video. Just give me a second here to make some notes. Let's see. I think you can hear my keyboard, so you know I'm doing a lot of notes here. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do this. Boy, are you going to love this. This video response is going to go out to Roger Hodgson. And this video response is going to go out to Roger Hodgson. And this video response is going to go out to Roger Hodgson. And if I mispronounced your name, I apologize in advance. And that's because you were once a member of the band Supertramp. I think you were one of the lead singers or whatever. I don't remember exactly all the things you were in the band. I do remember the band very, very well, and I'm very fond of Supertramp. And the reason I'm making this video response is because you uploaded a music video entitled Take the Long Way Home. I have heard this song so many times. I've actually watched the video, whole 9 yards, and I decided to ask you a few questions about your song. And according to the lyrics, now I'm more like, it's not really so much I'm asking you per se, but I'm sure you knew about the guy that you were talking about in the actual song. So these questions would be more to the guy that you're talking about in the song rather than you. But anyway, we'll just see what kind of answers you come up with. According to the lyrics, why do you think you're a Romeo? What did you do to become the joke of the neighborhood? What part of the scenery do you think you're becoming? And why isn't your wife as nice as she used to be? How large is the city that you're constantly going to? What gallery are you playing in? Okay, is it like a nightclub or something else? I'd like to know. And why are you performing on stage? Are you some kind of a musician? Are you a magic act? Are you a comedian? What? Okay. And why does your wife think you're losing your sanity? Okay. And when you reflect on your life, what do you think when you reflect on your life, what do you think you would have become? Do you think you would have become a football star, or possibly a famous painter, or what? I mean, what do you think you would have become if you had chosen a different life path? That's what I'm asking. All right. Now, what did I actually think of the song? It's really a nice song. It is well performed. I liked all the extra instruments in the song. It's not dry. It's not mundane. It actually has a crescendo at the beginning of the song, which really makes it intense. Now, if this was a song about modern times, I would say grab a hold of Harry Lorraine's memory book and change your life. But being that it was back in those days, I would say I kind of feel sorry for the guy in the song. But anyway, it's a well performed song. It's a great song. It's a legendary song. And I loved it. And I still love it to this very day. I have it a part of my music collection. So great job. Good work. I don't know if you, Roger Hodgson, uh, actually wrote it yourself or whatever. You can answer that if you'd like. So feel free to leave the answers to any and all the questions that I left in this video right down here in the comments below. And if you happen not to be Roger Hodgson and you're watching this video right now, feel free to go over to his YouTube channel, watch his videos, rate his videos, comment on his videos, subscribe to his channel if you'd like, and more importantly, tell him that the Speed Learner sent you. All right, I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. All right. Oh, we got one person watching again. Hello. Whoever it is, I'm glad you're here. But you just heard the review of Roger Hodgson. That's Hodson. That's his name. And he actually has an Instagram, and you can see photos of him and all of his performances. I don't know exactly what broke up Supertramp. I don't have that much information. I'm sure somebody's going to dig it up and present it to me, and I would love to see all of it. But anyway, I think the guy is a great musician, and I think he does a really good job. Another one of his hits was Give a Little Bit. Very good hit. And, I mean, I can go on and on. Goodbye Stranger was a good song. It's Raining Again was another one. There was actually 6 of them he did that was really, really good. And I'm sorry that he had to deal with somebody that kind of ripped off his Breakfast in America song. I was not particularly as fond of that one as I was with some of his other hits, but nobody should have ripped him off like that. That was not nice. So he did end up working it out, but still. So the thing is that he's a very good musician. He's a very good performer. He did an exceptional job, and I don't think he gets near enough credit for what he did. That's just my personal opinion on that. So anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed that particular presentation. Now, one of the things I'm going to be doing in the not so distant future is I am going to actually prepare notes for memory videos. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to review The Last Jedi. I'm actually going to sit down. I'm going to actually do a full review of The Last Jedi. You really need to hear what I have to say. It's unbelievable. What else am I going to do? When I do get a chance to sit down and play The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time with my arcade Shark Stick, I will play it, and I'll show you how to do that. I don't know if there's anything else that I really need to say tonight. One of my live streams, I will actually make notes, and I'll have you guys here while I do that, and I'll show you exactly how I do that. And we may make a couple of videos because of that. I don't know. But anyway, so So you guys got any questions for me? Anything at all you want to talk to me about? Whatever. We can talk about my sign trips, that kind of thing. Nothing. One of the things I will be doing is a full-blown Instagram tutorial. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. I will be able. Oh, I better mark my calendar on that. Holy cow, I didn't know that. The very next weekend after the the trip I'm taking on June 15th, the very next weekend is the Stonington Summerfest. I'm going to be able to go, and by gollies, I am going to I got to contact them to make sure that they're going to have their parade. I did not know this. I thought they were going to have that on the 15th of June. I was going to miss it. I'm not going to miss it. Yes, I am thrilled to hear this. This is so exciting. I'm going to be able to do this after all. This is fantastic. I thought I was going to miss it, but no, I'm not. So I will actually take that off, and I will do that. So I will have to make plans. Yes, we're going to do this. Oh, wow. Am I going to make some plans? Yeah, I will do that tonight. Whoa. Huh. Okay, this is good. This is really good. I'm just thrilled. This is good news. This is really, really good news. I can actually videotape a parade and show it to you guys. And that's cool. And yes, I could actually make the parade even if I had to work until 10 o'clock the night before. I could actually make that parade and videotape, because they don't start the parade till 11 o'clock. They don't start at 10 o'clock like everybody else. So I could actually make, and it's not that far away either. I can just climb on the interstate and be there in 10 minutes. So yeah, I could actually do that. And then after that, I can get some rest, whatever. But yes, I can make that parade. I could actually do that. So, yep. Anyway, so I need to make plans. Wow. I still have not heard back from the Blue Mountain Fall Festival, and I need to hear back from them. So we'll see if they ever get back to me. I'd love to videotape the parade. I will take the Cowden Pioneers. I will videotape that again this year. So I gotta have 2 days for that. So anyway, so anything else you guys want to ask me, talk to me about, whatever? Lots of stuff coming up. Really, lots of stuff coming up. I'm thrilled about it. So I'm here if you need me. I will be catching the Labor Day parade this year. I will make a special request for it, and I will get it. So may not all get any real good fireworks show. I'm gonna try, but I can't make any promises. So, woo! Lots of stuff coming up. So now I did want to bring up an interesting point. Have you guys ever seen the complete series of Saved by the Bell? They actually have this on DVD for about $20. Now get this. If you were to buy the complete series of the Wonder Years, you'll pay $50. Why? That's a very good question. Well, I think the main reason is that Disney, because they actually own ABC, it's a pretty good reason why they probably are charging more for the Wonder Years. Could be more, it could be other things, I don't know, but they probably charge a lot. So there you go. Have you ever noticed, and just think about this for a second, that Disney actually owns not only the Muppet Show, but also Star Wars and Marvel Comics? I mean, gee, if it's kids' stuff, they own just about everything. I'm not kidding you. It's hard to find anything that either public television doesn't own or that they don't own. I mean, how many TV shows? Even Inspector Gadget is controlled by Disney. Ever notice that? So finding kids programs that aren't controlled by Disney or by public broadcasting is not easy. It's not. I'm sure there is some kids programming that isn't, but it's hard to find. So anyway, so did you guys learn anything tonight? I hope so. I mean, that was the whole purpose of this live stream, was to get you guys to learn a few things. And I think you've learned a few things. I actually did a product review, and I've shown you a little bit more about Math Doesn't Suck. And of course, I did those video reviews. When you're doing Instagram, and this is something I'm going to bring up about social media, I've done this time and time again. Social Media 101. When somebody comes to you and asks you a totally innocuous question, you don't go immediately blocking them. You politely answer the question. I asked this one young lady why she liked a certain set of clothes. I got immediately blocked. What? There's nothing wrong with asking why you like a particular brand or whatever of clothes. I mean, it's like, gee, I made him think. Woo! It's ridiculous. Now, I'll tell you why it backfires. When you do something like that, when you're asked a totally innocuous question, you go block that person. I'll tell you why it backfires. Because what if at some point in the future you decide to do fundraising? Okay? And you meet this person in person at some point. I mean, that could be just fate. You're out there doing something, you're trying to fundraise, and you happen to meet this person in person. Do you think they're going to donate money to you? Not really. Not when you offended them for something stupid. See how this could backfire? I mean, maybe the person you're offending might someday become the CEO of a major corporation, and you may end up doing a job interview with these people. Do you think they're going to hire you if they remember who you are? Probably not. Or maybe that very same person may rescue you at some point. Then they may regret that they ever rescued you because you offended them. You got to think a little bit. If somebody is asking you totally innocuous questions, and we're talking about, hey, what's the name of your dog? There's nothing wrong with asking somebody what the name of their dog is. Nothing at all. Or maybe what aquatic life did you see after you took a particular photo? Maybe you're taking a photo of a lake. What aquatic life did you see? Nothing wrong with that. They're not asking you where the lake is. They're asking you the name of the lake, although they could. I mean, what's the name of the lake? There's nothing wrong with a question like that. But you see how this goes? It's stupid. Some of the things that I've asked some of these people, it's just I asked them and they treat me like pond scum. Well, one of these days it could backfire on them. I may be the very person that they may need to help them out. If for no other reason, maybe they have a math problem or an English problem or something like that, and I can help them out. Hey, I'm not going to do that. Why? Mainly because they treated me like pond scum. If somebody treated you like pond scum, would you just immediately go out and help them? I don't know. You might be a little hesitant about that. So like I said, it's all about treating people with respect when they ask you totally innocuous questions. Now, if they ask you something that's offensive, that's one thing. But if they're asking you totally innocuous questions, there's nothing wrong with answering them. And if you don't do that, let me tell you something, people. For those of you who do Instagram, let me clear something up. You say, well, I got a lot of likes on my photo. Some of them are genuine. There's no question about that. But some of those likes are generated by computers or by a service called Grambler. Ever heard of Grambler? Grambler is a great service. What they do is whoever signs up for Grambler gets to see some of these wonderful pictures and they get to like them. Now, they don't necessarily show you where they came from. They just show you the picture and then you get to like it. Getting the picture hit now? All right. But here's the key. And this is very, very important. Here's the key. They may never come back to your account because they may not even know what account name they're looking at or who they're looking at. So some of these likes may be some of those likes I guarantee you are probably genuine, but not all of them. Maybe they went to your account, liked a few pictures and left and never came back. So if you think you're being liked as much as you think you are, maybe not. They may not all be genuine. So before you think you're a hot rod on Instagram, keep in mind, not all those likes are genuine. And sometimes even if they comment on your photo, that may not be genuine either. It may be just some company with a hidden username. They pretend to be something else, and then you find out later they're a company. There you go. So like I said, it may not be as genuine as you think. And this is something I'm going to cover on my Instagram tutorial whenever I decide to make it. So before you think that a comment is genuine or you think that a like is genuine, think again. May not be. Well, the final thing I'm going to tell you tonight is some of the things I've been doing the last couple of days. I had to clear off snow. And then on top of that, I had some house cleaning to do. And I'm trying to fix up another computer and try to put Linux in it. And that does take time. So there you have it. There you are. So anyway... So who's all in the room with me tonight? I know Crazy Josh Cravey is. Who else is here? Because I see I have two people, but again, I never know who I have unless they actually say that they're here. I have no clue. Now, for some of you who have been extremely nice to me, and that's great that you have been, I actually gave you a sneak preview of the things I'm going to be doing in the next few weeks. And like I said, if it's warm enough, I'm going to take the trips. I'm going to videotape the signs. If not, we'll be running a live stream week after week. And it should be now on Tuesdays until May. Okay? That's the way it should be. If something is complicated, I may not run a live stream. We'll just have to see. I got 3 people now. Who is in the room with me tonight? Who is here? And do keep in mind that my live streams are left up so you can review them over and over again to your heart's content. You can watch whatever you want. I'm thrilled that you're here. Okay, so I lost 2 people. Oh, well. But it's good to see you guys. It really is. So sometimes there'll be a live stream. Sometimes there'll be video of signs. And if I run into something complicated, well, there may not be anything at all. Who knows? All right. Well, it is great to see you guys again. And I at least got some videos recorded. I will go ahead and upload those. And it looks like I lost everybody. Oh, well. But, well, at least you guys got a surprise video. Well, so am I going to review next? Well, that'll just be a complete surprise. I will get the Eusebus done at some point. And then, like I said, I'm going to continue hitting the internet streets, talking to people about Christmas, talking to people about Red Nose Day, talking to people about Route 66, etc., etc., etc. Well, I got one person back. Like I said, I never know exactly who I'm going to get back. So there you go. Anyway, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and close this down for tonight. I'm kind of wasting my time here at this point. I want to thank you guys very, very much for tuning in and watching me. And like I said, next week, hopefully, we will get those Route 66 signs videotaped and on the air, and you guys can see all this. So, one of the things I'm going to try to do this year is I'm going to try to go down to St. Louis and videotape the Chain of Rocks Bridge. I'd love to show you guys that. So, anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. I would love to see you guys in a future video. If you guys have something for me to review or whatever, I'm more than happy to do so. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned. And remember, if you guys did not see my whole presentation tonight, you can actually rewind it and see it again. All right. That's all I got for you tonight. I will tell you more in a future video, so I'd like for you to stay tuned.